I mean, really, if you look at it, the weekend as a whole, our road course stuff hasn't been where we needed it to be. We felt like we could come here and run 5th to 8th, and that's kind of the little gap we were in, and we needed a caution at the end, and you know, we had to do something different than the cars in front of us. And at the point that we couldn't restart on the front row, the motivation to stay was pretty small. We needed a win, so we had to do the opposite of what those guys were going to do. And had they come and got tires, we would have had to stay. We weren't going to pass them on equal tires. So thankfully, we didn't start too deep in the field, and Bell was able to get a tremendous restart and pass a bunch of cars before we got to the backstretch. So it was kind of a do or die moment, and Bell got up on the wheel and made it happen.
Can you talk about his level of part and how much blue sky? I mean, you know, clearly you worked a long time with Kyle, but how much blue sky does this kid have ahead of him?
Well, that's a hard question to answer, because if it's just on pure talent and ambition and dedication, he can win as many races as he runs, because he has so much skill, and there's not a place we go that he's not capable of winning. And there's nothing that you ask of him that is delayed or out of reach or something that he doesn't want to do if it means getting better. So the sky is definitely the limit. You know, he's young. He's getting better at a tremendous rate. He's already extremely good, and you can't hide the talent that he has. I think just race reps and understanding who he's racing and racecraft, and then you know, frankly, us getting our program better and strengthening our weaknesses as a company and as a team, and just us, you know, getting more reps and communicating more together. I mean, I think that's a large part why we've been wholesale better this year, is just we have some experience with each other, and we figured out what he needs in his cars, and figured out magnitudes of those changes just by blunt force and doing it.
Sorry, additional questions? Okay, we're gonna go to Steve.
I asked Kyle after the race, you know, if he had any tips or help for Christopher going to the next round, and he said he's got the best crew chief in the garage leading him, so he doesn't need his help. Joe, you mentioned a while ago about, you know, cultivating the young guys, but also having these older veterans for him to learn. Or what kind of loss will that be for you next season without him being here?
Yeah, we talked to Kyle and just told him we're really pulling for him and Sam and the family, and I want the rest of his racing career. This guy's going to win a bunch. We know that. He's a great competitor. And when you think about it, with us, 15 years, that was awesome. And, you know, just really appreciate that so much. And for, you know, Mars is leaving, but that was a thrill to be with them for that amount of time. And so I just think, you know, we worked hard at trying to get everything done there. We couldn't. And so I think he's found a home, and I'll be willing to bet he's gonna be after it next year, and he's gonna win a bunch of races. Which happens from time to time in sports, for sure. You know, the ownership of the race teams are trying to look for a better way forward financially, and, you know, NASCAR certainly has all the things they have to do financially, talking about tracks and everything they have to do as far as promotion. So there comes a point where, you know, it comes to a point sometimes where it's negotiating and working together and solving the problems. And at some point you always reach a conclusion. So I think that's kind of where we are.
Is there a conclusion that can be reached? Is there a conclusion that can be reached that is favorable to the teams?
I think there is. I think, you know, common sense on both sides, and looking at, you know, a path forward financially. I think that definitely is something that we can do. I think it's people that really care, and they care about the sport, and so hopefully both sides will go after it and talk our way through this and work our way through it.
Thank you.
Jared Haas with FrontStretch.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check one of those 2 videos out that we have right beside you. Visit FrontStretch.com for more great content.